Network Live. Watch One Drink With. Candid conversations with bottle flipping, shaker spinning cocktail creators from around the world. From Las Vegas to New York, London to Japan, what happens behind bars gets shared here. Starring Dean Serneels and Rob Husted. This week we share One Drink With Steve Schneider. What's up, my dudes? Eddie Munson here doing a little Halloween programming for One Drink With. Who's that dude?
Rocking out bedrock style, it's Barney Rubble, buddy!
Some old schooling. Yeah. What's going on, Barney Rubble?
We were rocking back in the Stone Ages before you even knew what rock was, but congrats on the new movie, Stranger Things. I've been hooked, I'm addicted. I'm on season 4 right now, and I've heard good things about you.
Well, all I've got to say is that you can't wait until you hear, Master! Master! That's all I'm saying.
Welcome, everybody, to Cocktail Network Live, One Drink With, our Halloween episode. I have to break character because I can't do that all night and keep going, but it was a lot of fun. Dean,
I have to ruin everybody's surprise. It's actually me under here, Dean Serneels, like you didn't know. You know what? Funniest part is, hey, Jeff Baugh is in here. He's like, hey, oh my God, I had you in Niagara back in the day for a bartending course. Yes, Jeff, I remember you well. We taught you some bartending, a little bit of bottle flipping way back in the day. Thanks for stopping in, Jeff. Tell your friends about us. Yeah, that was back in the day when I did have long hair, and I was Eddie Munson back in 1988, the year I started bartending, if you can believe that. Full out. Had the jacket that had patches on it, and I was like walking down the high school hallway yelling Metallica. I was that dude. So sad.
I'm excited for today's episode. It's Halloween. We got some tricks. We got some treats in store today. Some surprises and some other good stuff. But Dean, you want to get into maybe some housekeeping about what we got going on, how to ask questions, things like that, and then we can get into it.
This is my new studio. It's always under construction. It's today's studio. Yeah, we have questions and comments. Look at this. We already have a comment in from Jeff. I just saw. Here, I'm going to re-show it again so you guys can see. Throw us a comment. If you have a question, put a Q in front of your question, and we'll be able to see it, and we'll bring it up live on the screen. There's Ryan Clark going, what up? Ryan Clark from Las Vegas, a little CanCon content here. Thank you, Ryan. So we have a great guest coming up a little bit later today, and we'd love for you guys to throw some questions in. Rob and I have great questions ready. We'd love to hear from you as well. And in speaking of hearing from you, please like and subscribe to the show wherever you're following us. If you're on Facebook, please share it. If you're on YouTube, please share it, like, subscribe, add a comment so that we can talk back and forth. Like I said, we can bring comments and questions live on the screen. We're just kind of getting word out there, you know, having some fun, getting some celebrities from the industry on board with us today. So please like and subscribe and share One Drink With.
Yeah, Dean, it's all about growing the community and then just helping give back and bringing on people that help give back to the community as well. And one way we gave back was we just ran an online cocktail contest. Can we finally let them know maybe the top 3 and talk about that a little bit?
Yeah, Dave Beck says we're a couple of pimps. Yeah, there's some old school flair bartenders right there. Those guys used to bartend. Dave, tell me the name of the bar you used to bartend back with Patrick Kelly. They had broken glass all over the floor as flair bartenders in Vegas or Atlanta, Georgia. Amazing.
Buckhead, Georgia, if I remember right. Every time we went there, we had to go behind the bar and flare, and then it was so much fun just to drop the glassware and make it break everywhere after the pouring pour.
It was just
what was the name of that place?
Yeah.
I think Devin Frett still works there or still.
Is it still open? Yeah.
Tavern on the Green, I want to say, right? Tavern at Phipps, I want to
Tavern
say.
Phipps. It's all a blur, man. It's all a blur. That was
if you know, put it in the comments, but I'm pretty sure that's what it was.
Decade and a half that I was completely unsober. All right, Tavern at Phipps, young. The young and slim years. That goes for all of us, my dear friend. Yeah, David Beck. Yeah, cool. Rob, yes, you were talking about a contest, correct?
We did. One of the ways we give back is we'd like to do an online contest. We did this one for 30 days. We announced it at the end of the last competition we did, the Bartender's Shakedown. We challenged bartenders across the globe to come up with their best original new vodka cocktail in Real syrups. All you got to do is have a minimum of 1 ounce of new vodka, a minimum of ½ ounce Real syrups in your original cocktail. Post a picture with your recipe and procedure, and then we picked the top 3, which we just announced the last couple days, and we've been kind of teasing it in our social media to get it out there. And then overall winner, we give $250 away to the best overall cocktail. Dean, are we ready to jump into maybe 3rd place?
Yeah, I've got new trouble in showing off 3rd place. 3rd place goes to I Knew You Were Trouble with 1.5 ounces of new citrus vodka, 3/4 ounce of raspberry Real, a 1/2 ounce of finest call sweet and sour. We've got some peach schnapps and a splash of soda on top. Lindsay Palumbo, the soon-to-be famous, already rock and roll star, Lindsay Palumbo from Las Vegas. Thank you, Lindsay.
Yeah, Lindsay did great. It was a great cocktail, and for me, the best thing about it was the creative drink name. So well done, Lindsay. You scored high points on drink name for that category. Moving on to 2nd place.
I'm going to give the next 2 to you, Rob.
Okay. Moving on to 2nd place, we had the False Price Espresso Martini from Marcus Fernandez in Atlanta, Georgia, with 1.5 ounce new vodka, a 1/2 ounce of Cantera Negra Coffee Liqueur. I said that so perfectly. 1 ounce of a fall spice buttercream that incorporated a whole bottle of Real pumpkin spice, and 2 ounces of coffee concentrate. This was a fun cocktail because I was in the kitchen cooking butter and some spices, right. And when that came, adding a whole bottle of pumpkin Real, and then adding a full bottle 750 of Bailey's and a full 750 of Bailey's caramel spiced, and mixing that up and then incorporating that with the cocktail, and it was fun. I got a lot left over, so I got to say it came in handy with the neighbors passing out trick-or-treat candies right now. I gave them each 2 bottles of that to enjoy tonight, so they were
happy. That's so cool. I have to apologize on that one. I did not have a chance to go all drink master on that cocktail this week.
Drink master. We're going to get to that in a second.
The mixology, you know, the high-end mixology and cooking everything down and everything. I just didn't have time this week, so Rob handled that one for me today. Thank you, Rob. Hey, Jim Barnett's asking if we got a girlfriend. Hey, Jimmy, what's happening, my brother? And there's some random
single,
Facebook user.
Dean is engaged, but yeah, I'm single and ready to mingle.
Yeah. Oh, wow. Let's make it much easier. Here's Rob Taylor. You remember Robbie Taylor?
Sleepy Tea.
Yeah, that's his code there. He's having a nap. Love that guy. All right, let's go on to who's our winner. Do you want to talk about the winner? Here it comes.
Do we want to talk about the winner? Or do we have someone else to talk about it? Okay.
Well, let's talk about the drink. All right, I'm bringing him in. Ladies and gentlemen,
in first place.
Put your hands together.
Hey guys, how you doing?
Let me get rid of your drink. Oh, there it is. Oh shit, where the hell are you? All right, there's the man.
Hey!
All right.
Congratulations, Mike.
How's it going,
guys? If you didn't know already, you came in first place in the Cocktail Network Live New Vodka Real Exotic Syrups. Congratulations, sir. $250. Tell the audience what you made.
Thank you. When was that last part?
Tell the audience what you made.
So it was the Dragonberry Elixir. I hope that the music isn't going too loud in the background. It's crazy in Nashville right now. But it was made with real dragon fruit, chopped up, muddled cubes, and then the new vodka citrus, with Real raspberry to give it a little bit of that color because the dragon fruit gave it no color. And I topped that. I topped that with a little bit of this Madagascar vanilla Real simple or whipped cream that I made. It was so good. And then a little bit of Velvet Falernum, which is one of my favorite competitors, competing liqueurs to mess with. And topped with star anise shaved on top with a little bit of burned or charred anise on top of there as well. So it gave it a little smoke too.
Nice.
Yeah,
Absolutely
it was a great
delicious.
cocktail. That muddling that dragon fruit took forever to get it through the double strain, but eventually it got through. And I tasted it by itself. I'm like, okay, it's not bad. But when you combined it with that Madagascar cream that you did on top of there with that burnt star anise to get that aroma together was what made that cocktail sing. Well done, my friend.
Thank you guys very much. It means so much to me. Thank you.
Hey, Mike, if I'm in Nashville tonight, where are you in Nashville tonight?
I'm at Old Red. I'm at Old Red on the mezzanine floor, overlooking the band, baby. It's going crazy out here.
Yeah! Get him to play some
You
Metallica
guys
for
come
me.
out and see me.
All right, man. Congratulations. Thank you very much for taking a few minutes out of your night for us.
Yep. Go back
Thank
to
you,
work
guys.
and make that money.
Happy
Happy
Halloween,
Halloween,
everybody.
buddy.
Happy Halloween.
Nice. Let's get rid of him. That was awesome. Good job for him. I love that.
Oh,
I love that he
I
had a chance to
seeing
go.
how happy people get for doing something they're passionate about, and then not only get recognized for it, but also win some money as well, and come on the show and have fun. Like that was
Why
well
wouldn't
deserved.
ya? Yeah. Why wouldn't you? I mean, yeah, $250. All you got to do is make a drink. That's great. I love the fact that we had a couple of, all three of the top drinks tonight were really, really great and really creative and getting kind of drink mastery on it. If you've seen the Netflix show, Drink Master, I don't have the screen ready to come up about that, Rob. But let's move on.
Oh, what a great show that was! Like all I can say is I binged it over the weekend, and really happy to see what this show is going to do for bartending and cocktails. And like Flair challenged bartenders back in the day how to start entertaining. I think this show is gonna hopefully step it up a notch for the common bartender to realize like, ooh, the world of cocktails is way bigger than I think. So well done,
Right.
Drink Masters.
Yeah. I haven't seen it all the way through. I've only got I think I'm still on episode 3. I just kept pouring myself drinks while I was yelling at the TV. Oh my God! So I had to stop, but I'll get back into it later on this week and finish that up. I'm very excited about it. No spoilers. Don't tell us a thing. All right. But while we're talking about drinks, you must be getting thirsty, my friend.
I am, but before we do, I got a trivia question for everybody. Our fun trivia question.
Hold on. We got to finish the cocktail contest.
Oh, that's right. Speaking which, now you know, starting tomorrow, November 1st, and going till November 30th, 30 days, is our next online cocktail contest where you can win another $250. Whoever comes up with the best redemption whiskey, it could be the redemption rye whiskey, it could be redemption double rye, it could be also the bourbon, minimum 1 ounce, as well as a ½ ounce minimum of Real Exotics. Anything you want after that, no holds barred, as many ingredients as you want. Homemade ingredients are okay. Include the picture, full recipe, and send it to contact@cocktailnetworklive.com before midnight on November 30th, where on Monday, Repeal Day, we're going to announce the winner of that $250. And my power just went out here, so hopefully I'm here.
Wow. That's almost kind of fun.
Happy Halloween.
Yeah, happy Halloween. Hey guys, let me tell you, this is the brand new Bandy board. It's the first product from Flair Co. In over a decade. And it's called the Bandy board because John B. Bandy, it was his idea. I took his idea and developed it into the Bandy board. Rob and I are both going to use it in our 1 minute mixology today. But it is available at Bar Products. Join us on Bar Products. Sorry, I'm trying to edit and do all this stuff all at once. Waiting for Rob there. So check us out. Barproducts.com. Yes, it is an affiliate link. Any money you spend at the Flair Co. or follow our link, it'll be in the description below after we pre-post this, okay? yeah, check that out because all the money is going back into our broadcast and going into the support the community, all right? Rob and I have some fantastic ideas that we hope to bring out, including this show. And yeah, you'll be donating to that. So that's the bandy board. You'll see it in action in just a minute. Rob Husted, are you thirsty, sir?
Hopefully I'm back.
Yeah, you're back. You look great. You sound great.
I'm going to keep talking my screen froze, so hopefully I'm here. I'm going to keep talking like you're hearing me right now.
You're good.
My power's coming back now. But the trivia question of the day is, and the first one to enter the comments gets a high five for me, is what day is National Flair Bartenders Day?
Aha, good question.
Put it in the comments, and then Dean will let you know who wins.
All right, first person in the comments. Rob, it is time for 1 minute mixology. Bum, bum, bum. I hope you're ready. There it is. All right, where'd you go, Robbie?
I don't know.
There you are.
Oh, I'm back.
You're back. All right. We saw
Nice.
you on the
I
show
think
a few minutes ago. You're looking
the
great,
internet
bro.
dropped for a second as the power finally caught up to it, but I'm good now. Well done, buddy. Cocktail looks great.
Thank you very much. It's a little short. I might top it up, but you know what? I went to the store looking for a different product, and then all they had was plantation pineapple, and I didn't want to put that in this drink. But then I saw this $70 bottle of XO and thought, can I put that in a Halloween cocktail? Sure, why not? So I did, but that's the last time I'm putting in that. I'm going to save the rest for one more drink with. Yes.
I like it. I think you got the treat in the drink, and I got the trick by the power going out.
Right, sir. All right, Rob, you ready to make us a drink?
Yeah, let me get my display set up
Ooh,
in honor of
you.
all the past cocktail competition.
Look at you
And,
all
let's
fancy
get
and
this
such.
going. I'm a little nervous. Like I told Dean that I might run out of time for the first time, so we'll see how that goes.
No way.
But let's just go with it.
All right.
All right, I'm ready, Dino.
Here we go. I love these random Facebook user posts. I love it. Gabby says hi.
Bam! So today's cocktail is going to be called Smashing Pumpkins. This is going to use 1 ounce of Redemption Dark, Redemption Rye, 1 ounce of Plantation Dark Rum, a ½ ounce of Yellow Chartreuse, 1, 2, 3, 1.5 ounces of Pumpkin Real, 1 dash of Chocolate Angostura Bitters, and a whole egg. That's right, a whole egg we're going to include there. And then some finest called single pressed. 1 ounce of that. We're going to spindle mix this bad boy. Then shake it with ice. And then strain that goodness right into our nice display. Woo, cutting it close on time. That nice head. So we basically made a flip and then sprinkled with some apple pie spice, pumpkin pie spice, and there we have Smashing Pumpkins.
Nice. Well done, sir. Well done. I greatly appreciate what you just did there. Hey, did you see my shaker? It's the Bartend Better Now shaker.
I saw that when I came back on, just when I reconnected. I saw that, so that's awesome, buddy. Thank you for
Check
that.
out Bartend Better Now. That's Rob Husted's site where he teaches all kinds of great bartending and mixology, such and such. All right. Cool. That drink looks great. I love your presentation down there, man.
Thanks. I know by the end of one more drink with that, all these candies are going to be in my belly, so I'm excited about that. It is Halloween.
All right. Gabby says hi. Hi, Gabby.
Hey!
And Rob, we have a winner from our trivia question. Please put your hands together out of Canada. Ryan Smythe. Hey, Ryan Smythe, how are you, my dear friend? Yeah, June 10th. He says he's a little out of practice, but June 10th, 2022 was the first National Flair Bartenders Day. Thank you very much, Ryan.
Dean, you want to give everyone a quick update of why that date's so important?
Well, sure. After finally get to a final prototype going live, and our first production of 800 Flairco Flair bottles came out on June 10th, 1998. So when Rob and I put together National Flair Bartenders Day this year, we thought, what a better day. Great day to put the show together, and we celebrated it with 6 hours of being on a live broadcast with a bunch of great Flair bartenders, and we're looking forward to doing that again next year with even better, bigger Flair promotions, so it's going to be great. Thank you, Rob. All right, random Facebook user gives us a bunch of hearts. Thank you, random Facebook user.
I'm pretty sure those are my Facebook users. If you're logged into yours, I'm guessing. So.
Oh, that makes sense. All right, if you're sending messages from Rob's Facebook, tell us your name so we can say hi, because it just comes up as Facebook user, which is kind of impolite for me.
We're learning this technology. Let's get on to our guest, buddy.
Yeah, I'm so
thirsty
excited.
here.
You know, I've followed this guy for years. I kind of lost touch because of COVID and stuff, and I'm struggling to wonder how many times we've even talked. But I remember I saw him in Las Vegas once, and I was like, "Hey, here's Steve Schneider," and we embraced like we were old buddies from back in the war. And we've chatted a little bit since. Looking very much forward to catching up with Steve Schneider. I think I gave it away just now, didn't I? Rob, how did you first run into Steve?
It was definitely at a cocktail event, and then I was just so happy for him when I saw the movie Hey Bartender come out and really showcase him and let his personality come out. And then from there, during that time, I saw him at so many other industry events, and well, let's get to know him a little bit better.
All right, here he is, ladies and gentlemen. Please put your hands together for the one, the only, Steve Schneider, Forrest Gump.
Hey, what's up, guys?
Hey,
let me tell you,
Steve.
Dean. When you're talking about we ran into each other in Vegas, you're like, you're Steve Schneider. I'm like, son of a bitch, you're Dean Serneels. Stop. 20 years ago, I used to watch your videos, man, and you taught me so much. You're the reason why I have a fake plastic thumb. You're the reason why I have a sky bottle with the string on it and the hook,
floating shaker tin
as well. Yeah, the floating shaker tin. Yeah, man, I used to watch you all the time, and I learned so much from you, and I never met you. And when I met you at that conference, and you embraced me, that was a special moment for me. And to be here with you guys, two legends, oh my God, I feel like a kid right now. So thanks for having me, and happy Halloween, everybody. Thanks for tuning in.
That's very
also, I love the energy. I love the energy of that bartender you just had on, Mike from Nashville, the winner.
Yeah,
he has great energy. I'd love to sit at his bar. Yeah,
he dropped me a message on Facebook, or not Facebook, on Messenger. He said, "Thank you guys so much. The journey is so long, and I'm learning every spot on the way, and I appreciate you guys so much. Thank you." So he's doing Flair, he's doing mixology, he's doing the whole thing, and he's loving every bit and every step of it. So he's doing great. Thank you.
Great.
Yeah.
Nice. So, Steve, first question before we get into anything, what are you drinking?
Right now, I am drinking. Well, I can't drink as good as I used to, but I'm drinking a little bit low ABV right now. So I am drinking sherry.
Nice.
I just got an Amontillado sherry, and I have it mixed with this. I use this Alani sparkling water. It's a pina colada flavored sparkling water, no sugar or anything like that. So it's just a sherry highball, like a pina colada sherry highball. So, I'll make one for you guys if you want.
Nice. Yeah.
And during your 1 minute mixology videos, I was counting those pours. You guys are spot on.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, all those Legends and Quest days made it easy.
Right.
Yeah.
Cheers.
So I just poured. I poured 2 ounces of Amontillado sherry, and I topped it off with the the pina colada soda water, and that's it. Just a nice sherry colada highball.
Cheers to you guys. Thank you very
Salute.
much. Thank you, Steve, for joining
I like
us.
to
And,
I
yeah.
like to do 2 ounces when it comes to low ABV. I like to do 2 ounces and stuff. I'm drinking vermouth and soda, something a little bit lower. I'll do a full 2 ounces, but if I'm drinking 40% or higher, I'm going 1 ounce these days, man.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, that's the trend. We had Phil Wills on about 2 weeks ago, and we all said the same thing. Like
Yeah.
low ABV cocktails and non-alcoholic cocktails is what we're going to expecting to see a lot more of in 2023.
Right.
I'm not on board with non-alcoholic cocktails, not yet. I'm aware, of how important it is, but that's something I always task to the bartenders. I'm like, you know what? We really need some non-alcoholic drinks. And I look at the staff and I'm like, you guys get on that one because I haven't embraced that just yet.
I get it, man. I get it. I was in a liquor store the other day, and keep in mind the liquor stores in the United States are the size of Walmart in every other country. But there's a whole section of just non-alcoholic beer and spirits and wines and everything. The whole section of non-alcoholic spirits, which I don't get that. It's gin flavored water, as far as I can say. But there's so many other creative ways to do non-alcoholic drinks, I think. But anyway,
it's pretty freaking incredible, to be honest. Yeah.
Right. So yeah, if I have that, I'm gonna have a gin drink. But I get it. Steve, awesome to have you on here, man. Thank you very, very much. For our viewers, give us a little bit of a history and kind of quickly catch us up to your storied career before we get into some more detailed questions, if you could.
Well, I'll just start with what I'm doing now and go backwards.
Sure.
My name's Steve Schneider. This is my 20th year of being a bartender in the bar business full time. And right now I'm in Burbank, California. I'm expecting a little girl. We're about halfway there. So it's my first child, and I'm super excited, pumped, and happy. And it's a big time, life-changing thing. And the baby's not even born yet, but so far so good. I still go back to New York once a month to check on business there. I do also own bars in Shanghai and Singapore. And
they're all the same
No, all different bars.
Okay.
All different bars, different concept, different partners as well. So safe to say I'm pretty good at juggling these days, but you know what I mean? But I was a long time bartender. I guess I made a name for myself at Employees Only in New York. But now I'm one of the majority shareholders of Employees Only in Singapore. So
that's great.
That's basically where my first bar was. I was the bar manager at Employees Only for many, many years. And then I had a chance to invest and become a partner in the Singapore branch. And that was my first bar. And it's something really special to me. It's been doing great.
And you're famous
then from there, I branched out to Shanghai.
Bike, right? You're famous for the
Say again?
10-speed bike outside of the Employees Only in New York, right?
Well, yeah, I left my bike out there before I moved out of New York, just to fuck with the GM because I knew it would drive him crazy because he's, he likes to keep things clean out there. So finally, after about 6 months, I finally let him cut the lock, and they gave the bike to a porter.
Nice.
Steve, so you start off as a bar back at Employees Only, and then eventually went through a high level of training and then became a full-fledged bartender. Tell us about how much training and how much effort you went into during that training from bar back to bartender.
Well, it's the structure there is set up where you start out as what position called the stocker, which is basically, it's more like a traditional bar back. You know, you restock the glassware and the ice, and you're basically the apprentice's bar back, you know, and you have a black t-shirt. You're kind of waiting in the wings. I like to say you're like the force of the apprentice. So if the apprentice needs like an ice bucket, they just got to use the force, and here comes a black t-shirt with a bucket of ice, you know? And
Nice.
Your job is just to kind of get to know where everything is and just really go through the ringer. Not a lot of people survive that. It's a really physically demanding job. And it's a lot of crawling underneath that little tight bar, you know? Once you get promoted there, you get your white jacket, and it's your apprentice jacket. And that means you're the service bartender. So you're mainly working the service bar, but also your job's to make sure the two principal bartenders are good to go. So you're looking out for the two principal bartenders. You're looking out for the guests in front of you. You're doing all the service bar tickets. It's, I mean, easily the hardest job. You know, like it's the hardest job, bar none, that I've ever had. And then, you know, if there's space, you put in your time, you get promoted to principal bartender there. And, you know, it takes a few years depending on your skill level and just openings, really. I got in there 15 years ago when the owners were still behind the bar and they were trying to phase themselves out. So that gave the position for me, which is like the second wave of employees-only bartenders.
Great.
But then everyone in my generation, they weren't leaving. I was the first one to leave, I think, and to open up my own bar. We kind of outgrew the space in New York, hence the expansion, and I was lucky enough to be a part of it. But
Nice.
I like to say the stalker wears combat boots. The apprentice wears like those Merrell Gore-Tex, you know, hiking shoes, and principal bartender wears Crocs. Yeah.
So all that took years. So that's really impressive, the amount of training and how much you really had to go through to dedicate and really master that craft, if you will. What advice would you give to bartenders that or barbacks just outside in the industry that are aspiring to be bartenders? What maybe top 3 tips would you give them of how to move up from barback to bartender?
Well, you have to really be committed. Obviously, you got to really put your heart and soul and effort into it. These days, trust me, as an operator of bars now, we need help. You know, as a whole, there's openings there. There is space to move up in this business right now. There's so many bars. There's so many opportunities out there. So you're going to be the only person in your way, really. If you got to be committed, you got to show up on time, if not early, and answer the call. If somebody needs you to cover a shift, you got to be there. Cover them right away. For me, I just wanted to be reliable. I wanted to be all reliable, where if they needed something, they know they could count on me. And that, I think, will give you a job for a long time, and it'll get a lot of opportunity. And then when you're in a position of leadership, I think people are going to want to follow you as well, because, you know, you put your money where your mouth is.
Right.
So that's one of them. You know, 2, if you want to like know about the spirits and about the cocktails that we make, that's just all memorization. You could study that on your way to work. You know, you got to know that stuff, but you don't even have to know too much to start. Just know sound bites. You know a little bit here and there, especially if you're in a busy bar. You don't have time to really explain too much. So just know what makes rye and bourbon different. You know, like just in one sentence, almost like a synopsis for a movie or so. You know a little bit about everything. You know,
Right.
I am not. I'll tell you, I'm not sitting here. I am no walking encyclopedia by any means.
Right.
But you throw me behind any bar, and I could chat enough about booze where, you know, I can explain
Angus
to guests
Winchester.
what the hell they're putting in their body.
Angus Winchester used to teach programs that say just know 2 things. Know 2 things about every bottle, and you're good. Because there's so much going
That's
on.
all.
Just be able to hold a conversation. I told my daughter the other day, and my son actually, just show up to work and be there, and you've got yourself a job. You know.
Yep, and also don't be afraid to make mistakes. You know, like just try not to make the same mistake twice. You know, I don't be reckless, but don't be cautious either. You know, like do your thing, make your mistakes, learn. I've learned more from fucking up than I did ever from doing good. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I always say that we only learn from adversity and curiosity. If you want to go looking for the information, you'll find it. All the world's information is on the internet. But otherwise, you're going to trip over something and figure out how to fix your scratched knee. And that's the only.
You want to know how I learned how to do a shadow pass?
Yeah.
I fucked up many times. Yeah. I got it.
That's great,
man. Yeah.
So you talked about the movies.
Put in the time, the effort.
You talked about the movies. You were a center figure in Hey Bartender. First of all, where can we find that now? Is it still on Netflix or is it somewhere? Do you know?
I don't think it's on Netflix anymore. I honestly haven't watched it. Next year will be 10 years since it was released. Can you believe that? The very first interview was in 2009.
Okay.
was
That's
a long
great.
time ago, and it was almost like another lifetime ago for me, at least in bartending
Right.
speak.
Well, give us
But
the crystal ball.
I mean,
Rob and I are
okay.
involved in a documentary. We're making a documentary about flair bartending. If you haven't heard yet,
Oh, that's great.
tell us about how Hey Bartender, how it affected your career, and what other opportunities came out of it for you.
Well, so much. I mean, every bartender has seen it more or less. In fact, in Vegas for the union bartending course, they watched that thing. So it's like every union bartender in Vegas knows who I am. So that's kind of dangerous. Every time I visit Vegas, they know who I am. But the whole thing came about. The guy who made it, his name's Doug Tarola. His company is called Fourth Row Films. He's made a ton of documentaries. He's made over a dozen documentaries.
Great.
And this is back when there was less than 5 cocktail bars in New York. This was like,
right back
2008, 2009.
We're a dime.
Yeah. We were employees only was a handful of cocktail bars. So his mother sent him a newspaper clipping about employees only, saying, "Hey, you should check this out," because the bar that he liked to go to closed. It was like an old divey bar.
Right.
So he's like, "Yeah, fuck it." So he came in. And, when someone walks in, we have a curtain, the psychic booth and the curtain. So he walked in, and talk about deer in the headlights, man, And I was busy. I was an apprentice at the time. I was working service bar, and we were slammed. And we were slammed every night at that place. But he walked in, and there was a seat opening up, and he was solo. So I was like, I could have done one or two things. I'm like, I could have made fun of him, or I could have got him a seat. I did both. But
as every good bartender would, right?
Yeah, of course. A quick little sidebar is like my favorite bits of conversation behind the bar is when you turn your back and you're at the POS system plugging in drinks. That's when the best conversations ever happen. And I turned around, I was like, look at this fucking guy, he doesn't know where he is, And like, hey buddy, how you doing? I got a seat right here. So he sat right in front of me, and he had a great time. And he I was just blown away. He had never been to anything like this, never seen it. And he's like, "Hey, I make documentaries. Is it okay if I interview you? I might want to make a documentary about what you guys do."
Wow.
So, an artist in New York, I thought, I've heard him a million times. I just thought he was talking shit,
Right.
So I was like, "Yeah, sure, whatever. Come by tomorrow."
Looking
so
for a free drink.
And we had no, yeah, exactly. So we had a great conversation. And then he's like, "Man, this is it. This is amazing." Followed me around for 2-3 years, and then I introduced him to everyone else in the bar in the team.
I'm from Niagara Falls, just south of Toronto.
Oh, okay.
So we would go to Metallica concerts in Toronto, and then all south of there. Yeah.
I remember reading your story in the Long Pour, Adam McDonald's book.
Oh yeah. That's
Bulldogs
so cool.
at the Gate. I remember that, of course, man. Dude, I'm a Dean Serneels super fan. Come on. So
I love you, man.
We once did a quick story. We were in Detroit. We had a screening, Detroit premiere. We had a screening, and then after
so
we
went to all the premieres around the world, then.
Yeah.
That's great.
And
sorry, keep going.
The most memorable one was fucking Detroit because we're in Detroit and we partied hard after, and then we go back to the hotel. Doug's like, "Steve, we have to do a video conference from Vancouver. We have to Skype them or whatever." Keep in mind, this is 10 years ago, where it's not like we could get on right now. Technology was not that good, but they were able to Skype us in the lobby and into a packed 200 something people theater in Vancouver who just saw Hey Bartender, and we did a Q&A, and I was so drunk. And at the end, everybody's clapping, and at the end they were like, "All right, thank you, Steve Schneider." I was like, "Oh, thanks, guys," and they gave me a nice standing ovation, and then I could have just left, but instead I wanted more of that standing ovation rush. So I went back and I was like, "Hey, wait, go Grizzlies, Grizzlies, Grizzlies!" And then the 200 and something bartenders started booing me at the same time. I had forgotten. I should have said Canucks. I had forgotten that the Grizzlies were an embarrassment and they moved out like 8 years prior. So now every time I go to Vancouver, they're like, "Oh, the freaking Grizzlies in town. Oh yeah, the damn Grizzlies here. Yeah, there it is." Yeah. So
too funny, man. Thank you very much.
Yeah. So anyway, But I can't wait to see your guys' documentary. I just think the flair bartending story needs to be told. I've had so
Yeah.
much admiration, and I did my best as one as well in my early years of bartending,
Right.
and it's just the energy that flair bartenders bring, the dedication to get it right, because you don't practice at work. You practice on your off hours.
Absolutely.
It's something
Thank
that
you for
as a
saying
cocktail bartender will never understand. They'll never understand the amount of physical, mental energy that you guys put into it. And it's not just juggling bottles, flipping bottles. It's about being on point with every guest, being energized, and also learning the working flair, knowing when to flair, when not to flair, and just knowing the business inside and out. And I go to Fuel Bar, man,
Get those
Carnival
pours
Court, now
right.
Circa, where Vace. Yeah, it's you guys couldn't even go on stage if you didn't pass a pour test. Am I right?
Yeah,
Like
you're
you had
right.
to pass a pour test in order to
Yeah,
compete.
you didn't get to the big show until you did a pour test and a speed round and everything else. Only then could you show off your flair.
I'm saying it's so impressive. I wanted to ask you guys, who are some of the young heads? Like, I talk to Dario quite often, one of my favorite
Right.
flair bartenders and just one of my favorite people. Yeah, I've always wanted to know who the young stars are in the flair bartending world, because I don't hear much about it, and I think that
The young stars. It's great to see Latin America really just blowing up right now. Like there's so many young Latin American male and female bartenders, and then overseas in the UK and Russia has been killing it. Like Belarus and some great female flair bartenders from there. But at least for here in the States, for us. I was just watching a video from Shake It Up, the USBG competition we did at the Nightclub Bar Show, and I was watching Cruz Gutierrez, a flair bartender from South America who lived in Texas, but Lorenzo Garcia was bar backing for him, and now seeing Lorenzo Garcia stepping up and winning bartending competitions in mixology, in flair, speed bartending, and it's great to see that. But there's a lot of new blood. That's great. And the time for flair is just everyone's hungry for that entertainment, and when it's done right, it's exciting.
Yeah, so that's something I use as inspiration. Like, I try to instill that in the young bartenders that I have working for me, is especially the bars that I have that don't have TVs and stuff. It's like, when someone's looking at you, give them something to look at. It doesn't have to be over the top. Just a little thumb roll, a little tin spin. That's all you need. And just make it look smooth, make yourself look good, and it puts you above just the average run-of-the-mill bartender. Just putting in that little extra style points, not so much flair, just style. That's
so
what I like
you,
to call it,
you did flair and a little bit of magic and stuff while you're bartending. So what are the one or two things that you would do every shift? I mean, I always catch a bottle behind my back, and I only know like 3 flair moves or 5 flair moves anymore. What were the 2 that you would use when you were bartending? And you're doing high-end cocktails, but I know you did just at least two flair moves.
Yeah, well, first of all, taking the orange, cutting the orange, and pulling out the dollar bill. I learned that from you, Dean. It's a winner every time. Someone fucking tips you. Yeah. Someone tips you. You make it disappear. You open the orange. You shove the thumb in. You pull the bill out.
Money
it's
maker.
Amazing. It works every time. Freaks people out. Big time money maker. Back in the day when we used to do a lot of bomb shots, it was always the the domino effect of bomb shots. That was always fun for me. I like low risk moves.
Right, absolutely.
I think the shadow pass, for instance, the shadow pass is a low risk, high reward move, especially, dude. Like we have a lot of bev naps and stuff. So when I bust people in front of me, I'll just wipe the bar with the bev naps, and then I'll just shadow pass it, and then throw it away.
Just like kind of crumple it up, shadow pass it, and be done.
Yeah, crumple it up, shadow pass it, and then throw it away with my other hand.
And it's dude,
if I miss it, it just looks like it's just
no big deal.
Yeah,
right?
If I miss, it just looks like I'm throwing trash on the ground. But when I get it, which is more often than not, and I as I catch it, I'm looking him right in the eye. And it's like, oh shit, and I look so freaking cool.
and if you miss it, it's just as funny, right? It's just as hilarious.
Yeah, exactly.
Throwing trash.
Don't break anything. Yeah. But me, I often love to play with my tins. I love flipping tins around. I love doing some hinges and some finger rolls.
Right.
The gunslinger move. I learned that one from you, I think.
All right. That's awesome,
dude.
So tell us about some of the projects that you've worked on internationally. because I mean, you've
Okay.
traveled the world, and tell us about some of the things that you've done.
Well, my first bar was Employees Only Singapore. I was the bar manager for a long time at Employees Only New York, and I had an opportunity to not only go there and be a minority partner, but also I'd saved money. I saved money for years while I was
Nice.
working. I paid myself like a bar back because I was living like a bar. Like when I was a bar back, I was living off that money.
Right.
And when I became a bartender, your pay doubles. You know what I mean? So I kept that extra money and I saved it. I ate, ramen noodles for a year, like from
Right.
the bodega.
Good
I
for
made the
you.
sacrifices. I made sure that I just saved as much money as I could. It took me 13 years to open my first bar.
Right.
I had plenty of opportunity, but
It's a
I
huge
think I
moneymaker if you can
valued.
stay in it.
Well, my whole thing was I knew that I was going to get older, and I didn't want to have to like really hustle my entire bartending career. Like, obviously you work hard, don't get me wrong, but I didn't want to have to overly rely on my body. I wanted to use my mind. I wanted to put my money to use to work for me. I wanted passive income. I wanted to
Right.
make money while I sleep. How can we do that in this business? Owning the business is obviously one step. Investments. Um, so that was my thing. So I saved all my money, and I invested all my money into Singapore as well. And I ended up doubling my shares, putting me up as one of the larger shareholders.
Good for you.
And we made our money back. And then from there, I took that money. I opened a place in Panama with some of my boys, which we haven't reopened since COVID. And to be honest, I don't even know if I will. I made a few bucks there. I had fun. I just don't think I have the time anymore to fully commit. So I still am a founder there, and I own part of the brand. So if a couple of my partners want to reopen, so we're going to work out a deal there.
Well, good for you.
And then I took that money and I saved it more, and let it acquire over time. Opened a place in Shanghai with my good buddy Shingo Gokon, who's an amazing bartender. Ran a bar, Angel Share, for many years, and opened up one of the top bars in the world called Speak Low. We opened up there, and then I went back and I bought the bar that I used to work at before Employees Only, called the Elysian Cafe, 4 years ago. And again, when you put your own money in, even if it's a little bit, 5%, 4%, and the bar does well, nobody can take that money away from you. It's going to be yours,
Right.
The sweat equity. A lot of people with money, they dangle the sweat equity carrot over your head. And that's fine, I guess, to get your foot in the door, but make sure that you have something. At least this is for me. A lot of times sweat equity could be yanked away.
Right. You can have an
or you
injury,
have to
you can
work.
twist an ankle.
You have to work a year. Yeah. Or you have to work until the project's paid back before you get your sweat equity. This and
Right.
that. It's like you end up working for the company. Really, you're not really working. It's not yours. It's like you think
I've
it's
seen
yours, but
that
it ain't.
time and time again. Where people get teased. We're gonna give you a piece of it when it's successful. You get a piece of it, but you got to do all the work to get it successful, right?
Which again, it could be fair, but you got. But I think the more that you can put in yourself, I think the more you'll get out of it. That's if you believe in
skin in
yourself.
the game. Yeah.
Now, but this is my thing, Dean and Rob. It's like I am so thankful I didn't open my first bar until 13 years of full-time bartending in the shit. Because I had a lot of concept ideas when I was in my 20s that I'm so happy that I didn't follow through with, like it was trendy at the time. Like as I got older and grew up and become like, an adult, as much as an adult as I can possibly be.
All right.
You learn what's just trendy. You learn what's a flash in the pan, and you learn what's timeless. And I've seen it all more or less at that point. And I just thought I was in a nice place mentally and like maturity level where I could open up my own space. And it was tough. Don't get me wrong. It was long hours. It was hard. But now it's like every bar I open after, it's like second nature. I know what I'm doing. I rely. I'm 40 now, 20 years in the bar business now, 20 years bartending.
Right.
I'll be 40 next year. Don't tell nobody. But I'm like Jason Kidd. I'm like Jason Kidd on the Mavericks at the tail end of his career, where he's still a top level player, but he relies strictly on instinct. and you know
Right.
he can't out dribble anybody anymore. He can't outplay people. He just has to outthink them and be at the right place at the right time. That's kind of
So
that's
let's
kind of
build on
where I
that.
find myself these days.
Let's build on that. You just talked about how you thankfully waited to open your first bar before you had all this knowledge, and thank God that happened. So let's share that knowledge, maybe some top three things of what you learned opening up all these bars for new bar locations. If someone is looking to step outside the bar and go into business for themselves and become a part owner in something, what three things did you learn that you would love to share with yourself
Hmm.
20 years ago?
Oh, geez, that's a tough one to come up with on the top because a lot of it, you know, how bartending is such an instinctual job. You know,
Yeah.
there's SOPs, you know, but like when you're dealing with a customer, a lot of the things that you've learned, you can throw them out the window in a heartbeat because you have to go on your instinct about what this person needs at the moment. You know what I mean? The
Right.
same thing I think goes with bar ownership. It's like or mentoring or having some kind of level where if you fuck up, everyone's screwed. Like that's that's a lot of pressure. That's why I think having maturity is really important. If you have a good idea now, wait on it. Think about it. Because if it's not a good idea 3 years from now, that means your bar probably would have sucked. You know,
Right.
or your concept. A lot of things I see with young bar owners is incomplete concepts, where it's like good bars, fun bars, and all, but they don't really know who they are. They don't really know what they're doing, and they're constantly trying to chase trends, and they're not innovating. They're just always a step behind because they didn't go in there with the proper experience. Learn on someone else's dime. You know what I mean? Like be a
Yes.
bartender. Live your life in your 20s. I honestly remember bartending in the 20s. It seemed like a different lifetime ago in a
Right.
different planet almost. But man, what I would give to have one more shift back, you know, a 25-year-old shift, you know. Cherish those times,
Right.
young bartenders. Cherish those times, man, on someone else's time. You don't want to be a bar owner at 25, having to deal with so much pressure. Um, you know, like make your money on someone else's dime. Travel, enter competitions. You know, have fun,
You
test yourself,
gotta do those. You gotta
get
get
into
out
all
there.
sorts of trouble. Get in trouble, learn from it,
Right.
like do it.
Make
Because
memories,
once you become
learn.
a bar owner, uh, yeah, if you get fired as a bar owner, guess what that means? Everybody gets fired, you know,
Right.
and it's a lot to undertake. But one thing, Rob, to answer your question, when someone gives you money for a concept, they believe in you. You better make it, no matter how creative and artistic you are, you better make that a priority to get them their money back. If
Right.
that's not on the top of your list, you got to rethink it. It's really important. You know, as much as we love the craft and there's the artistic side and you know all the fun we have, we also have to realize that this is a business, and if you want to make a career out of this business, you have to treat it like a business. You know, you have to
Right.
treat it like a career.
I like what you're saying about
It's not
taking.
playtime. It's
Yeah.
not playtime back there. Yeah, yeah, it's
Yeah.
real. It's real shit. Yeah.
Yeah.
Um, so that's one thing. You know, like someone gives you money, make sure you have a plan to get their money back because the quicker you get it back, the more you'll get next time.
Right.
And
Right.
again, my whole thing is, listen, I can't really talk much about my new project, but I got a new project opening next year. It's gonna
I
be
was
my
gonna
last
ask
one.
you what's coming up new. What can we look forward to?
I still got the energy. I still got the legs. I barely have the legs for it. But my guys, my passion is high volume.
Right.
If I can't work high volume, I don't want to do it. COVID was tough for me, not because business was terrible everywhere, but because I was so deathly bored. Um, I
Right.
stood behind that bar, and we couldn't play music in Singapore. We had to
Oh.
allow only two people in at a time.
Oof.
Close at 10:30. It's torture.
You couldn't play
I didn't even
music
care
because of
about the
COVID?
money. No, yeah, yeah, they didn't want people shouting and whatever.
Wow.
But to be honest, I mean, like, it made me cherish how like what I really love about this business and what aspects. It's not necessarily the drink making in and of itself. It's
Right.
the energy, it's the
Yeah.
atmosphere, and it's that vibe, and it's that like the drink for me is just the garnish. when I walk into a bar, or when I see a guest walk into the bar, I want like a camera to pan behind them, and I want them to be in their own music video where they walk through the
Right.
curtain and they're like, "Holy shit, the lighting is right, the music is perfect. There's the ice cracking back and forth from the bartenders." And it's like they look to their left, they look to their right, they're a little bit worried. It's like, every time in a TV show you see a bar, it's always a seedy kind of place, a dangerous place. I love that danger feeling when you walk into a bar. Obviously, we have it all under control, but almost like a
Right.
theme park, I want you to feel the thrill of the ride.
Right.
And
When
like,
you're walking up to
and
the
for me,
bar,
it's
you
like,
want them to be a little nervous on the way up to the bar.
yeah, and they look left and right, and the beautiful people next to them, they have a drink in their hand, and that is the garnish. It's got to look good too. It's got to just make sense with the whole scene, and that's the artistic side that I try to recreate with these bars. And honestly, in Singapore, I was so crazy with the lighting and the music and making sure the uniforms looked great. Also making sure the cocktails were right. Just for reference,
Right.
we have 20 people that have been there for over 10 years at Employees on New York. When someone new comes, it's a whole team of seasoned veterans training one person, and you
Wow.
sink or swim. For me being in Singapore, it was me training 20 people from scratch.
Very different.
They had
Just the
no
opposite.
freaking clue about what I was trying to do. So I had to be heavily involved in prep and everything, and lighting and music and all sorts of training from the top down. And man, I think it took a few years out of my life. But I remember I was in Singapore and I finally took a day off, right? And I spent the whole day off looking at the cameras. And
really enjoying
I got
that
out of
day
my
off.
apartment. I went down to the bar and I was wearing my pajamas. I walked in from the back door. I